Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Queen Karen. I know I've been off on YouTube for quite a long time, since 2023, because I finished my NYC as at November and I needed time to reflect, relax and plan my 2024. Let's not talk too much and let's just get into the video. So I'm going to be talking about 7 things I learned in 2023. Like, I learned a lot, but like these are the few top things I learned in 2023 that I'm gonna execute as a stepping stone in 2024, and I hope it helps you guys too as you watch the video. I miss speaking content actually. Let's just get into the video. The number one thing I learned in 2023 is that people will not take you seriously until you take yourself seriously. And I don't mean like frowning your face, going up around, being all angry, egoistic, proud. I actually mean taking yourself seriously and actually adding value to yourself, educating yourself so that people don't look down on you or don't look at you like you don't know what you're doing. In 2023, I was faced with a lot of circumstances that made me feel like I don't really know much about social media, and I've been so consistent of social media. I know a lot about Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, name the social media. But then as of 2023, where I was working as a social media manager, I found out that if you don't keep educating yourself, if you stop educating yourself and adding value to yourself, it will get to a point where they ask you some questions and you won't be able to answer. And it's not like you don't know those things. It's just that you thought you knew it all and you forgot to go back and study and then work on those things. I thought I knew a lot about social media, but then the thing is that I don't know that much. I actually don't know that much. We are all still learning. There's some of you that don't know how to run Instagram ads. There's some of you that don't know how to run YouTube ads. There's just some of you don't even know that on TikTok you can get monetized, and so on and so forth in whatever field you're working in. But as for me, I'm using social media management as an example because that's my field of work. So as of 2023, I got faced with situations where I'm asked some questions and I can only give a brief explanation of what that thing is all about or what it will bring. But then all of a sudden, I hear questions like, "What are the parameters? What should we expect? Are there downsides to this?" And I'm like, I don't really know, but I know that if we do this, it will work. Well, like I don't even know the downsides of it. I don't even know like if it's possible. I can't even give you a percentage. And people want to know that you actually know what you're doing. And by how you let people know you know what you're doing is by actually adding facts, numbers, and all that. But then I couldn't do that. And I felt like people didn't really take me seriously because I could say I can post on Instagram, but do I know what strategy? Do I know how to strategize and plan my content out perfectly that will actually help us have engagement, help us get sales? Do I know the correct target audience that will help the company gain more conversions, revenue, increase traffic? Do I really know those things? Or do I just know that I create content and post and people see them? Who are the right audience I'm actually supposed to target? How do I get to those target audience through that content? And the content I'm posting, is it even the right content? Is it actually going to speak to the audience when they see it? So basically, in 2023, I learned that if you don't take yourself seriously by adding value, especially educated value, because education doesn't end, you learn every day. Knowledge is very important. Wisdom is very important. Understanding is very important. And if you lack all this, you're gonna fall. You're actually gonna fall because a man without wisdom, is a fool. Because he thinks he knows everything, but he's just walking in path that looks right, but the end part is not really good. Apart from educative values, you can also have values about your health because you'll be faced with situations where you look somehow, you dress somehow. Health, I mean, both physical, mental, emotional, and then people will begin to give you advice. If you don't know what exactly you need for yourself, you'll begin to take advice from literally everybody. And note this: when you take advice from everybody, someone's going to be against someone else's opinion, and when you start to do everything they say, they start to go against, like, they like start like questioning you. Do you even know what you're doing? Because you listen to this person. So I can be seated in the office and someone told me, Karen, you're supposed to be eating carrot every day. It helps your eyesight. And someone else says, no, carrot is for your stomach. And go ahead to do what that person says and said, carrot is good for your stomach. And then I eat carrots to help my stomach. And then someone asks me, like, oh, what do you do? How do you help yourself health wise? I say I eat carrot every day to prevent stomach aches. And then someone's like, carrots don't help with stomach ache. It actually helps with eyesight. And you're like, someone told me this, and that's actually what. Don't look confused. Know what you're doing. Take yourself seriously. The way you portray yourself is the way people are going to perceive you. The little you say, people can just expand it and use that to judge you. Like you can just say one dumb thing now, people will just say you're dumb. Like they'll just conclude that you're a dumb person just because you said one little dumb thing. Because some people don't even have time to sit down and understand who a person truly is. You may have knowledge about so many things, but if just one thing is missing, someone can use that to judge everything about you, and you can end up losing your own worth in places that you sit. Like when you go to places, they actually say that this person is not worthy of being spoken to or even having a chance to speak to people because she doesn't even know what she's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just basically going around with whatever comes his way or her way. So you need to take yourself seriously, most especially in 2024, because look, 2024 started on a Monday. It's a serious year. So you need to take yourself seriously in 2024 and add value to yourself. Add value, educate yourself, expand your knowledge, learn new skills. Be a jack of all trades, a master of none. But then be a master of something that you truly have passion for. Master the thing, and wherever you go, stand out and show that you know that thing. Stand on your word, stand on your ground. Stand on it because you know you have educated yourself on it and you're sure about what you're saying. Speak up, be confident, don't murmur, don't lose eye contact with people. Be bold, speak up, and let people know that this is who you are. I am a content creator. I know how to create graphical content. I know how to create perfect video content that is appealing to people, emotion and their eyesight. And whenever I create content, I know that I'll be able to drive audience through this and that and that. Be serious with yourself. Take yourself seriously so people don't disrespect you because they don't see you respecting yourself enough to give yourself value. The second thing I learned in 2023 that I'll be using as a stepping stone in 2024 is in everything you do, wherever you find yourself, do everything perfectly. My auntie used to tell me that give them the biggest dozen, give them an extra one, more than what they expect. So in 2023, when I was working, I felt like as a creative, I'm not supposed to share. Well, someone actually told me this, and honestly, it actually makes a lot of sense. You're not supposed to share everything, all your knowledge. You're not supposed to share all your skills in the place you're just working. I was doing NYC. I wasn't expected to obviously put out all my skills. There might just be, there's this thing going around that whenever you start working in somewhere, don't give up all your skill or all your knowledge. They might be using you for a couple of time, and when they get what they want, they fire you and you get someone else to hire. You understand? So don't always pour out everything you have within you. But then the truth about it is that pour it out. I never knew this, but pour it out, give them the baker's dozen, pour it out because what is yours can never be taken from you. You need to learn, like, yeah, you don't have to like go overboard and do more than what they expect, because the more you do things that they don't expect, the more they expect more from you, and that gets very exhausting. Do what you can, but do the best that you can, because you don't know who's watching you from a distance. When I was working last year, honestly, I felt nobody was even taking me seriously. I could create content and it would take like a week before my boss would approve the work I created. So I felt like no one was actually taking me seriously. I wasn't adding value in the company. I was just, an NYC corporate who creates content for them and handles their social media, and it's not that important. I was not the most important person there. But the truth about it is that I'm actually the most important person there. That's why it's good to take yourself seriously. You need to know what value you need to know your values, and you need to know your worth, what you bring to the table. I was actually adding value. At the side, I never knew that the boss, that's like the head of the company, the managing director, was actually always watching me. And at the end, when I was about leaving, he was like, he always watched me. He saw me when I always come to the group chat and tell people to like the post, share. I create content. I share with people in the office, the staffs, and think, you guys do this, do that. So he actually noticed it. But I never knew he was actually watching because he was never always in the office. But then he knew what was going on. So whenever you do something, do it perfectly because you don't know who is watching you. And yes, where you may be working, they might not accept you, or maybe the content you're creating may not be that good for them. They're saying what you're delivering is not enough for them. But guess what? It's enough for somebody else. Someone's gonna see the same graphics that you created, and they're gonna appreciate it and say they want to work with you. All the graphic content and video content I put out for them, they might have liked it or not, but there are many people who saw my work and was like, wow, Karen, you're doing a good thing. I never saw it that way. I just felt like I was wasting my time. But you need to understand that there are people out there watching you. No matter where you find yourself, do your best, do the best you can, and leave the rest to God to handle. And wherever you find yourself, there's something I learned last year of Miles Moran, and he said, everything you do, wherever you want to live, like you're living somewhere, you're living in an organization, so not a company, leave it how you want to remember it, or leave it how you want them to remember it. So this is what I told myself. I'm gonna leave this company and give you guys the best content. I'm gonna grow your followings. I'm gonna grow your engagement because I'm gonna remember it as I did my part. I don't need anyone to appreciate me or anything, but I'm gonna do my part and I'm gonna do it well because this is how I'm gonna remember it. Because yes, they might not acknowledge me, but God sees my work, and you know that God is literally the finisher of everything. When He says yes, no one can say no. So whether they like it or not, they don't like my content. As far as I did my best and I did a good job, wherever I go, I'm gonna find favor after that. I am gonna find favor after that because God opens doors for me, not people. So you have to be a good person wherever you find yourself. Do the best you can. Do it to your greatest knowledge, your greatest understanding. Give it all you got. Show yourself, show your skills, show you know what you're doing. Put yourself out there. Be the boss of where you stand. Create your own table and be the head there. Show them what you got. Leave it how you want to remember it. Live how you want to remember it. And guess what? God is going to take over from there and it's going to be perfect. And it might take time, but it's going to be perfect. Because when I left, people actually saw my work and were asking me to come work with them because they saw what I did. And I didn't know they were watching. Someone is watching you. So do the best you can in 2024. Number three, this is very, very important because this has a lot to do with your heart, your mind, and everything about you. Be careful who you share your vision with because some people are vision killers. In 2023, I used to tell people, oh, I want to be a content creator, like full-time content creator, YouTuber, social media manager. And people used to tell me that it's not a job. That's not a real job. You actually have to be a banker, a lawyer, a doctor, do a journalist, because I studied mass communication. So like journalism, news reporting. I actually had to do something that looked like an 8 to 5 work before I'm seen as someone valuable, or I'm actually doing something worthwhile or meaning or something. And I was, bro, like I had a lot of people laugh at me. I had a lot of people telling me what you're doing is wrong. I had a lot of people telling me that, are you sure you know what you're doing? These are plans. Me being a content creator is basically a plan I had since when I was very, very young. I always wanted to open my own YouTube channel, and I'm so glad I'm doing it right now because I want to share my own experience with people and let them learn and also use it to as a stepping stone in their own lives. And I'm doing that right now. And I'm happy doing it. Because what gives me joy is what I'm going to do. My vision must not make sense to everybody. It must make sense to me. And I have to know that God has approved of this. And I know what I'm doing is of good. And I know it's going to make good money, going to bring income because everyone wants something that brings in income. And the truth about it is that Not everyone sees income in what you do till you start making that income. They will not see what you're doing as something good till they start seeing results. So while you have everything, make sure you plan out everything with God, plan out everything with yourself, have self-confidence, work in yourself, put in all the effort. By the time results are out, there's same people who told you that, oh, you should move out of this, that thing you're doing is not really work. They will start to see that, oh wait, this is actually a job. It's working for him, it's working for her. She's doing a good job, she's getting paid well. It's who you are, it's what you attract. So just because someone doesn't see YouTube as a career doesn't mean it's not my own career. Just because someone doesn't see money in YouTube doesn't mean that it won't give me money. Just because something didn't work for someone doesn't mean it won't work for me. You have to understand that. Don't share your vision with vision killers. If you have something in mind, take it straight to God, not people. Men make mistakes, so why should you share a vision with a man to give you advice on what God has given you, on what ideas God has given you? How will a man that makes mistakes, that's still trying to plan his own life out, help you? It makes no sense. Stop sharing your vision with vision killers. If you're in an environment where there are no other creative or like minds like you, be careful how you let your ideas and dreams out. They might not be against you, but they will not see you in that light. Because where I was working, I was basically the only creative there, someone that likes social media, likes content, likes photography, videography, and sees the knowledge, the impact it makes in the world, and I see the financial impact it makes to me. But they didn't see it that way. But doesn't mean what I was doing was wrong. I was just in the wrong environment. Don't change who you are, change the environment that you're in if it's affecting you and your vision. The fourth thing I learned in 2023, this was really, really hard for me because I had a very, very tough year. Emotionally, back and forth. Like, guard your heart, guys, guard your heart. Number four is don't let what people do to you affect you because it's gonna worsen your situation than it does to them. Now, I'm just gonna jump straight into what I learned from my boss at the old place I worked. So he said something to me because when I was about leaving, I had to share my whole experience with him, and then he gave me some advice. So when I was working, some people hurt me with their words and the things they did to me and things they said to me, and I was actually angry at them. Then he told me something. He was like, "Don't be angry at those people, and don't let it get to you." Do you know why? The devil, I'm gonna bring God into everything I talk about. That's my favorite person. So the devil's gonna use people. Like that's why it's good to be spiritually strong because if you are very close to God, you study your Bible, you pray, you're never idle. It never gives the devil a chance to come and use you to do something bad to someone else. For example, let me give you something. Okay, there's Mr. A is idle. He doesn't pray. He's not that spiritually strong. He has no relationship with God. And Mr. B has relationship with God. He prays, he fasts, he does everything good. He's a nice person. So because Mr. A doesn't have a relationship with God, it gives the devil a chance to come in and use Mr. A to hurt Mr. B. Now, when Mr. B gets hurt, all that is in his heart is anger, envy, pride. You don't want to even help that person. You don't want to help Mr. A. Wherever Mr. A is mentioned, you ease. It's just negativity that comes flowing out of you. And I was like, hold up, that's true. And it's not Mr. A's fault. It's actually the devil trying to get to you and ruin something perfect about you. Because once you're in a situation where you hate someone around you because of what they did to you, it might actually hinder some things that were supposed to come out of you naturally as good. So take this for example. You, Mr. A and Mr. B were in a meeting and they were asked to work together. Mr. A already hurt Mr. B, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It was because he let the devil have a chance with him and use him to annoy Mr. B. So now Mr. A has no idea that Mr. B is actually angry at him because he said or did something to him. But Mr. B has a grudge in his heart. Now they're supposed to work together on a project. Instead of Mr. B to come out like freely and share his idea, and then they make a good project, a good plan, execute it, and all of a sudden they get promoted in their company because they did a good job together as partners, and they give them their own office, their own table in the organization, give them, you get what I'm saying? Like, acknowledge their work as very good. Mr. B would then hold on to his ideas because he has a grudge with Mr. B, and then the little ideas that come up on top, they just make good use of it. And at the end of the day, they don't actually execute a very, very good plan. Why? Because there's hatred somewhere in Mr. B's heart already. And that will hinder you from shining because there's something in your heart. So don't always let what people do to you get to you. Immediately someone does something to you, take it to prayer, let it be, forgive the person and forget and move on. Because if you let that thing sink into you, it will end up hurting you. You might think you're hurting the other person, but the thing you're actually doing is actually putting yourself in a box. You will not be able to move because of hatred. You'll not be able to move because there's something in your heart that is burning and it's not nice. So wherever you find yourself with Mr. B, and imagine you find yourself with Mr. A, you both of you are working in the same department. Mr. A is everywhere you go. It's going to hinder you from actually expressing yourself the right way. It's going to hinder a lot of opportunities because hatred is just going to stop you. You want to give up an idea, but just because Mr. A is around, you're like, I'm just going to keep quiet. Just because A is there, it's going to stop you. It's going to stop you. That it stops Mr. A. The devil has already had his way with Mr. A and then affected you. But you have to let the devil know that, bro, you can shoot all your bullets. I'm just going to leave it and let God take control. Simple. So don't let what people say to you, what people do to you, get to you. Don't let it stay in your heart. Don't let it remain in your heart. Because out of the heart of a man comes what? Yeah, we know that. The Bible is written down below. So, like, be free, forgive and forget, and move on. We want to live a Christ-like life. We want to live like Jesus. Jesus will not keep any grudge in his heart. So don't keep any grudge in your heart. Don't hate nobody. Let them hate you. I was speaking to my friend days back. He has problems where he's working. So I was telling him that don't let, just because that guy was mean to you, your boss was mean to you, don't let that affect you, because yeah, he might have hurt you, but if you go ahead and start going out and telling people something bad about him, people are then like, God's favor won't actually be with you. God's goodness and grace will not, that anointing on your head is actually going to fade away. Why? Because you let what he did to you affect you. So at the end of the day, you also became an enemy to that same person, instead of you to just forgive, let go, and be the good person at the other end. Like I said, humans don't have any hold on your destiny. It's all in God's hands. You need to let go. You need to leave everything in God's hands and move with a good heart. Simple. Number 5 of what I learned in 2023, which I am going to be using in 2024 as a stepping stone to greatness, and I hope you use it too. Consistency is better than intensity. What did I say? Consistency is better than intensity. I never knew this. I wanted to put out 4 content every month last year when I started my YouTube channel. I did not do that because I could not be consistent. I could only give up amount of energy when I got in front of the camera. Later, the energy can be gone because I'm not consistently flowing. I'm not consistently planning. I'm just like, I saw a video on Instagram one day, and then they showed consistency on top and intensity under. And they showed consistency. It was the same amount of fire on each candle. What intensity was hot fire at the beginning, then as it went down, the fire reduced and went off. You need to be consistent in everything you do. There's something I also learned for like a sermon. I was in a church sermon I watched last year. So this man said, if you want to go to the gym, it's better to be consistent than intense about your gym life. Don't go to the gym with the aim to walk 1 hour, pushing weight, carrying weight, lifting weight, and all that. If it's 5 minutes, you can use every day to go to the gym. Maybe you can make it 3 times in a week, or you can use 5 minutes, or make it 7 days in a week. You go to the gym 7 days or 6 days in a week, actually, excluding Sunday. 6 days in a week, or you go there and you only spend 5 minutes on working out your abs, your glutes, your muscle, your back, just basically taking care of your health. Go. I don't know why some people actually go to the gym to build up muscle. I'm not against it, but like you actually just go to the gym or you work out every day, just exercise your muscles and keep them fit. So as you grow older, you're still fit to do the things you could do when you were younger, and your body will not be numb and lazy. So if you actually make your gym life 5 minutes every day, you will notice that you keep going back 5 minutes, 5 minutes on Monday, 5 minutes on Tuesday, 5 minutes on Wednesday, 5 minutes on Thursday, 5 minutes on Friday, 5 minutes on Saturday. Because you're not putting so much energy and you don't feel exhausted. You just do a little workout. You say, okay, I'll come try it tomorrow. Do another workout. Okay, I'm going to try tomorrow. Do another workout. You just keep coming back because when you are very intensive about what you do, you kind of overwhelm yourself, and then you put in all your strength into something. At the end of the day, you can't even get up the next day because you have used up all the power within you, all the rainbow, all the shine, all the smile within you. You've used it up in that one workout you did or that one job you did. You need to be consistent in whatever you do. Me setting up this camera now, imagine like wrote down 10 things I learned in 2023. Oh, I'm gonna put it in 2024 when I come shouting in the camera. And then in the next video, obviously, people are gonna expect that same energy, wouldn't they? Because I was all excited, I was all this and that. But then the next time, I just don't feel like it. I want to be myself. I just want to be calm. You know, I want to talk about something natural, something that is affecting me, that's something that's affecting the world. Now I don't really have something of advice. I just want to speak. But then at the end of the day, just that video that you put out next time has less energy, and then you don't actually get enough views. You don't actually get enough watch time because people don't feel what they felt last time because you gave up so much last time in the last video. Now they expect more from you, and now you can give more. You need to be calm and take it gradually. There's enough time. Don't lie to yourself. There's a saying that there's no time, you gotta work. There's enough time. Put it in your mind and say, there is enough time. If I don't do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'm gonna do it the next day. There is enough time. Just make sure in everything you're doing, you're being productive. And everything you're doing it well. You're doing your best. And it's from your heart. And it's something you love doing. Whatever you don't like doing, you don't have to force yourself to do it. You can make it a habit by gradually, going into it. But don't force yourself into it. I'm not a fan of reading, but then for some reason, if I get a good book that I like, I read it to the very end and I enjoy it. But like if I don't really want to read it, I get the movie version. If there's no movie version, I get the audio version. I mustn't force myself to read a book just because everyone is reading a book. As long as I am consistently learning, it might be in different ways, but I'm adding knowledge to myself. Intensity is not the right way to go. Be consistent in whatever you do. Whatever you start, make sure you finish. Whatever you start, make sure you finish. And that's one thing with consistency. When you're consistent, the same level of energy is what you go with, and then at the end of the day, you finish well. You finish on a light note, and you finish good. When you're intense, bro, I want to I want to start schooling. I want to do my masters. I want to go into university. The first level. All of a sudden, something just happens, and your energy goes low, and for some reason, you end up stopping, and you don't end up finishing what you started. That's what intensity is like. What consistency is. I want to do this thing. Let me plan on it. Let me execute. I'm executing. Okay, let me just go one by one, one by one. At the end of the day, you see, you finish well. Consistency is better than intensity. Number 6, and my personal favorite, is if you put God first every day of your life, you're definitely going to have the best days. Why do I say this? 2023, beginning of 2023, I was always praying, I was always fasting, I was always studying my Bible. The days were good. I wake up. Even when I started going to work, I always read my Bible. I always pray before going to work. Work is always going good. Everyone was nice to me. I was finding favor everywhere I went because obviously that's what happens when you put God first in everything you do. He goes before you and makes the crooked way smooth. So everything was going good, both back home and at work. But all of a sudden, because I like work started getting serious, and because of the traffic in Lagos, I had to get up from bed long, like 4:30, 5:30. I can be at work around 6 a.m. and work starts by 8. I can be at work by 5:50 a.m. Like I had to like be taking pictures at the time I used to get to work on my Snapchat. I'll be at work around 5:50, like I'm the gate man, like hours before work even started because I had to beat traffic and I was following someone to work at that time. So because of that, I couldn't always study my Bible in the morning. I couldn't always steadily pray, and I always woke up cranky because I don't go to bed early. I don't go to bed early, which is something I'm actually working on this year. But I don't go to work early because I'm so obsessed with consuming content on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok on how to better my own social media account. So I end up going to bed late because I'm still consuming content. As a creative, I just want to eat on other people's content and make mine better and different. So I didn't really have enough time to study my Bible, and for some reason, at some point, things started changing. People weren't so nice anymore. There wasn't much favor. The grace of the Lord was obviously there. His goodness and mercy always following me, but then it wasn't all that rosy as it used to be. And I was like, why? Then the days I did take my time to pray and read my Bible before I go out, all of a sudden those days would be very, very nice. Everyone is nice to me, everything is going well, everything. I'm like, wow. And maybe that day I intensively prayed, or like I use, they always say whenever you pray, you should remind God of His word. So maybe I use the word of God to pray. All of a sudden, that day is just going to be amazing. Like, overly amazing. Like, don't be very, very different. Everyone is nice to you. Like, some deadlines you didn't even meet, they don't even remember to ask you about it. I'm very, very serious. It's that good. Like, His mercies just go forth in like with so much strength. And I'm like, wow, well, oh, I see. If you actually start your day without God, you're gonna fall. Take this from me, you're gonna fall really, really hard because, man, like, how do you start your day without greeting your creator? It's like saying, I don't know, I can't really think of an example, but then this is what came to my mind. It's like saying you're in a prison yard and your hands are chained, and when you are leaving the prison yard, there's a bodyguard who is your leader. Let's say the bodyguard is God the creator, and then you are chained down to a lot of things that the devil wants to put you down and everything. God has to unlock those chains from your hands for you to walk freely outside or walk freely in the compound, even if you're in a prison yard. I'm using Earth as a prison yard. Sorry for that. But like, that's the example I'm trying to give that. But like, for you to walk freely, even leave the prison and go out, explore, be happy for that day, that chain has to be loosed. So imagine you woke up, the gates were open, free movement. You went out, but you didn't wake your creator or your leader to unlock those chains so you can move freely. So that everywhere you go, you'll be happy and there'll be favor and people will look at you nicely and smile, and you won't look like a prisoner because there are chains on your hands. But you just went out and you started moving up and down, and those chains keep dragging you, and people keep looking at you, looking down on you, like, who the hell is this? And because of those chains, you can't even do some certain kind of work, and you cannot execute perfectly. You can't think creatively. There's no new idea, no new plan in your mind. That's exactly how it is when you start your day without God. So if you start your day every day of your life with prayers, putting God first, even though it's just a little prayer, even if it's just a chapter in the Bible you read that you start your day with, Psalms 20, Psalm 5, Deuteronomy 28, Psalm 91, Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. There are little scriptures you just start your day with, and all of a sudden you notice that there's some things that should have fallen you down, but just because your leader has broken those chains off you, you can't fall. You're gonna thrive. You're gonna mount with wings like eagles. Do you get? Like, man, when you woke up first, it really, it's a smooth life. It's a sweet life. Yes, sometimes the sea might be wavy, and there might be storms, but be still. He's there. Everything's gonna be calm. Have faith, and always put him first. Always put him first. As simple as that. And finally, number 7, which is the most important one. Wow. If you made it to number 7, congratulations. You have learned a lot. You now have a stepping stone in 2024, because this number 7 is something that has actually stopped a lot of us from moving. A lot of us, I'm also one of the lot of us. And what is that? Perfection. Perfection. If you know how much saliva I had to swallow before I mounted my camera here and said I wanted to make this video in my living room, knowing very well there will be distractions. It took a lot, because I was actually planning on going to a studio and paying money to use their light and the setup to make my whole video aesthetically pleasing. There's something I learned in 2023. Aesthetics and beauty with no value is not going to get you anywhere. Like, nobody's going to follow you. You're just going to waste money. You're just going to look good, but you're not going to add any value. And nobody's going to follow you. I'm very, very serious. I used to take perfection very, very seriously. I want everything to look good. I want everything to look perfect. And I mean perfect. Like, I wanted like 7 different, like, backlights, front lights, side lights, everything on. I wanted my name in, like, there's prints that you put your name in, glowing lights, like all these LED lights behind me with my name, Queen Karen. A lot of things had stopped me from being consistent. A lot of things have stopped me from even generating ideas. So because I don't have these things, I can't even think about the ideas for the next video, because I'm so obsessed with trying to get more light, trying to get more tripod, trying to get the perfect clothes to wear. Honestly, like, I actually used to change my clothes sometimes to make some videos. It's just very, very unnecessary. As long as I'm dropping value, that doesn't matter. Nobody's looking at you. To be very honest, nobody remembers what she wore yesterday. Last year too, I learned this thing. Nobody actually remembers what you wore yesterday. Nobody remembers what you did. All they remember is the value, the worth you brought in. What do you have to give that will change people's life? What do you have to give that will change people's perspective about you? That is what people are looking for, not the perfect screen, the perfect camera. That's why if you're watching this video, you want to start your YouTube channel, you have a phone, start with a phone. I'm using my phone to record right now. Start with your phone. You mustn't have a mic. Talk. Just get a quiet place to speak. You'll be heard. There's a speaker on your phone. We will hear you well. As long as you're dropping value, people will watch. People will love you. And you need to understand that not everyone is going to adore you, because when you start doing things out perfectly, like you're all about the lightning, the getting dressed, you might attract the wrong audience, and you might attract the wrong people, or you might attract the right people but in the wrong way. How do I mean? You can start up with light, always paying for a studio. The days you don't have to pay for studio, what happens? You don't get to create content. The days you don't get to create content, you lose viewers. The day you lose views, you lose subscribers. You lose subscribers, you lose the things you started off as good. You lose the little people that you had that were rooting for you, because now you don't even produce value anymore. And like I said in the beginning of this video, don't overdo things, because once you give out too much, people will keep expecting more and more and more. When you know you cannot give more and more and more, do your best. Cut your coat according to your size. Don't do more than what you have. Don't go paying for a studio that you cannot consistently pay for. You're starting up a YouTube channel, you're paying for a studio. and YouTube is not yet paying you. So how do you keep up with that? And imagine you're all putting on makeup. You're not a makeup person, but you're putting on makeup to make your YouTube videos. You're getting all dressed up. You start attracting viewers that are into fashion. But then what you're speaking about is not fashion. You don't want viewers that are into fashion. You want people that are looking for God. They're looking to change. Maybe, yeah, those people might have given their lives to Christ, but they're looking for other fashion content creators or influencers to look up to. And you're not that kind of person. So the days that you don't have clothes to wear, what do? You lose those people. You then attract the wrong audience. And then the times that you're not even who they see you are the first time, you start to like get negative comments. From that negative comment, you start to break down. From that breakdown, you feel like, oh, this is not for me anymore. And all of a sudden, you shut down. And what was meant for you then turns to a dream that didn't come true. But the truth about it was meant for you. You just didn't have the right plan. You just went overboard, basically exaggerated everything by trying to be perfect. And that's not the goal here. Be yourself, be relaxed, attract the people that will like you just for your bare face and what you have, the lights you have. I'm currently not even using any light, I'm using the natural light outside. Attract the right audience, attract the people that will adore you just for who you are, because those people will never leave you, whether you're up or down. They will never leave you. They will always be there for you. And that those people are the people that are there for the value and what you have to offer. They're not there for what you look like. They're there for what you have up here and what you have in here, not what you look like. The people that just follow looks, and looks fade. So don't be all about perfection. Perfection is everything. If perfection or being perfect or creating a perfect video or getting perfect outfits is what is stopping you from doing what you have to do, or having that perfect diction, or having the perfect words to describe something, because like you want to be saying the in your video just to attract people, if that is what is keeping you from getting your goal for starting what you desire, please change that mindset and put God first. Let Him lead you. Be relaxed. Be yourself. Just be you. Be you. You need to understand that people have to accept you for who you are, even for the knowledge you have up here, because there's some people that what you have up here is too small for them. Yes. Yes. We all have people we look up to. You can't Most of us don't watch people who have less of knowledge that we are looking for. Let's be honest. So people need to like you for you. You need to attract your own audience because of you. Remember, if you cannot be who you are, where you are, don't change who you are. Change where you are and remain who you are, because that's the best version of you. You are the only best version of you. Yeah. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the 7 things I learned in 2023, and I'm using it as a stepping stone in 2024, and I hope you guys use it too. And I will see you guys in my next video, because we are currently in our 20s, 2024, and I'm actually in my 20s, and I'm trying to do things right. You're all still learning. Don't forget to stop learning. Don't forget to take yourself seriously. Don't forget to not hold a grudge on anybody. Don't forget to put God first. Don't forget to always, relax, be yourself. Don't be all about perfection. Do you get? Just be you. Be who God made. Wait, be who God made you to be. Yes, be who God made you to be. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.